Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good. It's been a while, I know. The topic of today will be people pleaser. I'll give you 10 traits and 10 way to stop being a people pleaser. You'll see me look down, it's because I've taken some notes, and that's the reason, so that I do not lose track of what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean, right? So the first trait would be you pretend to agree with everyone to be liked by others, even if deep down you do not agree with a certain opinion or a color that you like whatsoever. But you just say yes because you don't want to be the one not liking and be against or not having a popular opinion, I would say. That would be it. Just to make sure that people will like you. The second one, you feel responsible for how other people feel. What does that mean? So, for instance, you have a friend that's going through something, and you feel that you're responsible of the way they're feeling, in a sense that you would want to change how they feel, but you take it upon you to change their mood, if that makes sense. Even if it has nothing to do with you, but you feel responsible of how they feel. Yep, that's one I am very familiar with and I'm guilty of, as apologizing too often. For everything that happens, you apologize, even if it has nothing to do with you or if it's not your fault. You apologize, for instance, someone tells you a story about them. You're like, well, I'm sorry for you for feeling that way, or that you went through that, or saying sorry when you're joking about something to someone, but you think you've hurt someone's feelings, so you're like, oh, I'm sorry by the way, or you just say sorry to everything, basically. 4, you feel burdened by things you have to do. There's a good chance your schedule is filled with activities that you think that others want you to do. So, for instance, you have a lot of friends not in the same group, so they all want to see you, for instance, and you'll say yes to everything because you don't want them to not like you or feel that they would be upset if you don't go, for instance. And you want to please them, even if you deep down you don't want to go, or because you have other things you would like to do. You just say yes for the sake of saying yes because you don't want to displease them. You don't want them to not like you anymore. Right? 5, you can't say no. Whether you say yes and then actually follow through. Example, for instance, later on you find an excuse not to go. So, for instance, someone asks you to go out on a particular day. You don't feel like it, but you still say yes. And on that day, you find an excuse not to go. Oh, if something came up with the family or whatsoever, you find an excuse not to go, instead of saying no right from the get-go. 6, you feel uncomfortable if someone is angry at you. I'm guilty of that. I hate knowing someone is upset with me. I hate it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel little in my pants. 7, you act like the people around you. We often, for instance, let's put it that way, at school, at elementary school, for instance, you're hanging out with a bunch of bullies. You're gonna act like them to be accepted in the group, but it's not really you. It's not your personality. You're not that type of person, but you'll do it because you want to fit in. You know what I mean? 8. You need to feel praised to feel good. You depend on validation. Your self-worth depends on how other perceives you. Let me give you an example. Social medias, we put pictures and we feel validated for the numbers of like, for instance. Often that comes from a place where self-confidence and self-esteem is lacking. So you need people compliments to feel better in your skin. You need to be validated by others to be feeling good. 9. You go to a great length to avoid conflict because you dislike confrontation. Oh my God. I am the type of person who hate to find myself into an argument with people. I just hate that feeling. You hate confronting people. So what you do is that you're going to try to just accept how things are, just to avoid confrontation, even if you don't agree. But this is not the way to go about it, right? So now, the last one would be, you don't admit your feelings when you're hurt. So, for instance, someone tells you something and you already know it hurt you, but you're just not gonna tell them about it. You're not gonna tell them, well, you've hurt my feelings, because you often think that by telling them how you feel, not only it puts you in a vulnerable place, but you think that they're gonna like you less because you're telling them how they made you feel. Because if you do not tell them, you think that they'll like you more. And finally, let's go. Actually, I'm thinking about this. I'll make a second video about how to stop being a people pleaser. So that's it for today. I'm out.